Well, I'm trying to get out of downtown Chicago. Not my favorite place to be, but it is what it is. One of the nice things I like about my job is I can listen to radio, or I can listen to stuff on YouTube and podcasts and all these things all day long. So I do enjoy that. And I have been watching everything President Trump does because I just find him to be, he's just a breath of fresh air to me. You know what? I could care less who hates him. There are people that hate him. They just hate him because they want to hate somebody. There's people that hate him because they believe all kinds of bullshit that the media tells them. And this is something that I've noticed. This guy, President Trump, does not care. He does not care about what people think of him. Okay? And he does things the way he's always wanted to. You don't like his character? You're fine. You don't have to like his character. Okay? You don't like how he presents himself? That's fine. You don't have to like how he presents himself. But that's who the man is. So all these people that hate him, they really hate him because he's not polished and smooth and speaks with this eloquent tongue like Obama did. You know, all polished. And you know, if you remember, they made fun of President Bush because President Bush wasn't a good public speaker. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but boy, they made fun of him all the time. Will Ferrell on Saturday Night Live used to do George W. Bush. That's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry if I said Trump, but George W. Bush. They used to make fun of him all the time because he like rambled and he didn't, and it was just a gross characterization of him. And to a lesser extent, Alec Baldwin does them too. But you don't have to go far to get material from Trump, honestly. But I've noticed how much he pisses off. He pisses the media off, and particularly CNN. There's an adversarial relationship between him and CNN. And you know what? I remember when CNN was news. It ain't news anymore. It's all opinion piece. They sit there and they just, and it's 24 hours. Let's bash the president, and there's never anything good on there about him. There's never anything good about him. I mean, any person with any kind of sense could see that. And Fox News, they kind of do, they don't get nasty with him. They don't get nasty about the president. They kind of sit there and say, they look at, well, this is Trump. He's a little abrasive, and he's just, they're being honest. So I would rather watch Fox News because at least I'm getting something out of it versus CNN. I don't dislike Donald Trump. I think he's great. I love to watch him. And the thing I love about him the most is he doesn't give a damn about what people say about him. He gets in there and he's not afraid to show that he's ticked off at the media. He's not afraid to show. So I watched this press conference he had today. And this woman from PBS, some PBS station or some PBS show, asks him about using the term nationalism and you're sending a signal to white supremacists. Good God, man! If you don't know what nationalism is, then you've lost your marbles. You need to know what the hell it is. It's not a signal for white supremacists. And then one of them asked the question, there's these attacks, these hate crimes are up, and they're blaming him for hate crimes. And they use the whole anti-Semitic thing. This guy's from New York. Do you really think he's anti-Semitic? There's more Jews in New York than there is in Israel, for crying out loud. Do you think if he was the slightest bit anti-Semitic that would have come out ages ago? It absolutely would have. And you can't say a man is anti-Semitic that moves the capital of the embassy, the U.S. embassy to Israel from Tel Aviv to Israel. That's kind of unheard of. You cannot say he's anti-Semitic when you do that. So, you can put all these labels, and you know what? And it might be this. Trump in a lot of aspects reminds me of me because he doesn't have a lot of filters. He doesn't have a lot of tact. And people either love him or they hate him. You know? And that's basically that is kind of the story of my life. People either love me or they hate me. And I could care less. That's the thing. I could care less about people who hate me. I could care less about, I hate to say this, but I don't care what strangers think of me. Why should I care? You know, I mean, I don't wish ill will to anybody. Even people that want to kill me. I got one guy who thinks he's a woman who wants to kill me. I don't wish this guy ill will at all. I think he's a little... But I don't wish him any ill will. I hope he has a nice life. If you can have a nice life being kind of tormented by the duality of personhood, or the duality of gender, maybe. So I don't wish this guy any harm. If I had enemies in my life, yeah, I've had a few. More so than when I was younger. I do. You know what? I do kind of have. There is one other guy that decided he didn't like me based on what he thinks is behavior that is I don't even know what to call it. Racist. He would probably call me racist. He calls me, the black guy calls me racist because I've had black girlfriends. And he's seen me with a few. And because he's seen me with a couple, it's really pissed him off. But at the same time, this guy was always running around screwing white women at one time. So why am I going to pay attention to this clown? I mean, I have said hi to him to his face many times, and he just turns his back and ignores me. And it's funny to me. And this is somebody that's in a church, mind you. You know, that's the best part of it. So, can I call that guy that? Yeah, he probably is. Probably doesn't like me, but I don't care, man. I don't care. I'm not going to speak ill will of the guy. I don't know him well enough to speak ill will of him. But so then you have President Trump just. So he has this press conference, and it was fun to watch. I got to tell you, it's fun to watch. And I realize there's people that are they're just aghast. They're aghast at this behavior of this president. Listen, do you want some smooth talking piece of shit? You know, Hitler was smooth talking. He realized somewhere along the line, he realized it was in his beer hall days when he would go on his rants in these beer halls and he would attract a crowd. He realized he had the ability to move and sway crowds with his words, and how he'd string them together, and he'd be very eloquent and passionate, and he would move crowds. If you don't think that's true, you look at the old footage from pre-World War II. You know, before the world entered in, before the Nazis went into Poland in September 1st, 1939. Look at the rallies and the stuff that Hitler did, the things he did. He knew how to sway the people with smooth words. Trump is not smooth. He isn't. He's not eloquent. Matter of fact, he kind of drives me crazy sometimes because he uses the same words and phrases over and over. I like that guy very, very much. He's terrific. He's fantastic. We're very, very good. His vocabulary is not off the charts. I mean, it's easy to see that. I mean, the guy is a billionaire, way beyond any money that I would ever make, or most anybody I know. And you would have thought somewhere along the line his vocabulary would have increased, but maybe that's because he's a New Yorker. I only know one New Yorker, and he uses he'll use a particular phrase all the time. We all kind of do that, but he doesn't vary his words, and he keeps it kind of simple. And maybe it's just because he's a New Yorker. I don't know. But you know, that if I could say one thing about when I watch him and I listen to him, he drives me nuts about that, because it's just It's fantastic. Everything's fantastic. We did very, very good. He's a terrific person. It doesn't sway much than that, you know. His vocabulary isn't off the charts. But I don't judge the man for that. I judge him for his honesty. He's honest. He doesn't have a lot of tact, and he kind of just lays it out like it is, and that is his appeal to his base. That's his appeal to somebody like me. Okay, that's his appeal. Now there's some people that say, "Oh, I'm uneducated and all." I can go to toe to toe with anybody with a lot of things on a lot of subjects. Okay. I've got one liberal person who she has to Google everything I say. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And when I try to challenge what Google throws up to her, she throws it back at me saying, well, you can't know more than Google. I said, Google is biased. They put certain things out there for you to see. You have to dig deeper to actually get the truth with Google. But the point is, this guy, you'll never see another man like this. There will never be another man to hold the presidency like this. Enjoy him. Enjoy him while we have him. Because you're not going to have a guy like this ever again. And here's something you all need to understand too. You think all those people are prim and proper in front of the camera? Can you imagine how nasty they are when the camera isn't on? In a way, it's dishonest in some ways. Okay, in front of the camera, the president, but somebody like Trump, he doesn't care. Okay, and he can get away with it because he's the president. But this is who he is. This is who he is as an individual. And I think that the reason that he won the election is a lot of people like his personality. Because he's not feeding you a line of bullshit anymore. God, I've been hearing bullshit from politicians my whole life. I voted for Ross Perot because I wanted to see what a man with a business background could do as a president. And I always thought that somewhere along the line, someone like Donald Trump would come around. A nationalist would come around at the right time. And I didn't think I was going to live to see it, but here I am. But I wanted to see someone who knew how to do these things because I knew that a lot of things that our governments do is business-based. Our economy is business-based. We have trade deals and treaties and all kinds of stuff. And I've often wondered what these politicians do with these things. And I've said before, NAFTA was horrible. I watched NAFTA destroy an industry I was in for over 30 years. I watched it destroy it. And I know that I wasn't the only person that saw the industry they were in go south because of it. And if I remember Al Gore saying what a wonderful deal that was going to be, and it's going to create jobs, and it's going to do. And Ross Perot said, oh, you hear this sound? That's the sound of your jobs getting sucked out of your country or your economy. I remember that. And he was a Texan too, Perot was, if I remember correctly. So it's only natural somebody comes around, with that kind of bent that what Perot was, I was going to vote for him. So I personally just voted for Donald Trump because I knew these radical liberals would lose their marbles. They just, woo. So it's just, you love him or hate him, he is who he is. And that's the best part. What else do you want out of somebody? You want somebody to be not who they say they are? Obama blew smoke up a lot of people's ass for 8 years. And I've talked, I can't even tell you how many people I knew that they have this love affair with this guy. When I first heard him talk, it was so smooth and he was so striking and he just moved me. No, I'm not moved by that bullshit because I see it for what it is. Behind the scenes, President Obama is chain smoking his cigarettes and coughing and hacking up a lung because he's probably been smoking since he was 12, and he's looking over this speech at a speechwriter's ride and he's reading his teleprompter. I have not seen Trump using a teleprompter. He doesn't need to. I mean, he's been in the business he's been in for so many years, he doesn't need to. So he's probably got an incredible memory. He's got to be incredible memory. And I think the best thing I saw him do today, this press conference, is he outed all these Republicans that refused his help in any way, thinking it was going to be a liability for them to get reelected. And he named him. He publicly shamed him. he just read their names and said, "Yeah, good luck to you. How does it? Yeah, I could have embraced you, but I didn't." I love that. I love that. I mean, come on. I mean, you can play the political game and pretend that you're going to be. Come on, let's get away from that. Let's be real. This guy is not politically correct. He's not any of this stuff. This is the best part about him. This is the best part about the media. They want to tear him up. And it's not hard to see it. Any American with any half of a brain can see that they're trying to tear him up, rip him down, and it's true. The media is very left leaning, and it's become a propaganda machine for Democrats. It really has for a very long time. I mean, I remember the ass kissing they did with President Clinton. And that, like I said, Clinton changed everything for me because I saw it for what it was. The media, it was just a Joseph Goebbels would be proud of the American media. They really would. Our news media here. And let's get rid of that for a minute and let's think about all these celebrities. These celebrities that go on and they end up going and campaigning for people. And they're always out there for Democrats. You never see them going out for conservative people. Usually if there's an actor or something that stands up for a conservative, they get blackballed, they never work again. Okay? It's kind of how it works. So you got all these kooks, Oprah pulls out the I'm going to go down and we're going to work, we're going to do this for this. My God, man. And think about this. If you're swayed by a celebrity, if a celebrity sways you into how you're going to vote and you're thinking, how weak are you? How pathetic are you when somebody who pretends make-believe, who plays make-believe for a living, has the ability to make you choose who you're going to vote for? Think about that. They play make-believe. Okay? They have more money than God. Okay? And they get out there and they tell you, you need to vote for this person because we think do you think any policy any policy the government does affects Oprah? I'm busting my ass day and night. Okay? Do you think any policy that the government comes up with, either Republicans or Democrats, is going to affect Oprah? Or how about Will Ferrell or Jim Carrey? Do you think the tax plans are going to affect them? The tax cuts are going to be good for them? Who's going to benefit the most from that? You think it's them? It really is about ideals and what celebrities stand for. And celebrities stand for bullshit. Remember, they live in fantasy land, and they live behind gates, and they live behind walls that keep people like us out. Okay? And that's the truth. Stop giving and putting these people on a pedestal. They're just people. They're people that play make-believe for a living. And don't believe, they're just people. God, you can be swayed by somebody just because you like what kind of music they write, or just, I could give a damn. I've thought about this before. If I had this opportunity to meet some of these really high-profile celebrities, I don't even know if I would bother. So what's the point? What's the point? Then they rally against the people who are rich, the people who have money. They don't even look in the mirror. They think they're exempt from that because they play pretend. Oh my gosh. So, anyway, I think President Trump is great. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. And the more he pisses people off, the better it is. And you know what? I have lost friends over it, and I'm fine with that. I am okay with that because I've been a good friend to anybody who's been a friend to me. I've gone over and above what most friends do. And I'm really happy. If they decide they want to cut ties because they don't like how I think and how my political feelings and how I feel about this man, I don't give a shit. Friends are a dime a dozen. Real friends are like diamonds, and I got some of those. I have got some of those, and those people would stick by me no matter what. But otherwise, forget it. 20 minutes.